So we're going to do episode 3 of the loading dose. Today's kind of just going to be podcast forum. We're going to talk about self-reliance and self-starting. So I was listening to Evan Hafer and Sean Whalen on the Black Rifle podcast, and they were talking about basically just doing what you want. Doing what you want, as in Sean Whalen was talking about, I wanted to drive race cars, so I did. He went and bought a race car. Obviously, he has the financial means to do that, but whatever you want to do, you can do. If you want to buy a race car, there's no reason why you can't work toward that. Start on shorter scales, though. For example, one of my good friends does all sorts of fishing. I wanted to surf cast with him. It looks sick. You got on the beach, surf cast into the surf, catch awesome fish, and it's just another thing to do as opposed to sitting around and watching something on TV. There's not to say that there's anything wrong with that from time to time, but don't waste your life going to some couch when there's plenty of time to do other things. You get home from a long day, who's to say you can't go sit down and watch TV and do whatever you want? Of course. But if you're getting off of work at 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing what you want. And what you want to do right now might be, hey, I want to go sit around and do nothing. Every once in a while, that's fine. But when you look back over a long term, like in 50 years, are you going to be able to say you did what you wanted because you did what you wanted in a moment and laid down and watched TV? So let's get into self-reliance first. So what is self-reliance? And this will all tie into self-starting. Can you rely on yourself? Break it down to the most bare bones version of that would be your body and your mind. Arguably more important your mind, but forming a body that is capable is going to be the most important point, like starting point in that journey. So I'm a paramedic for a municipal agency, and I think it's important to keep physically fit because people rely on me. Whether it's a patient or coworkers or the cops or another medic, a firefighter, or, most importantly, like me. It sounds selfish to say, but like, I gotta get you don't want to be the guy that is the rescuer that needs to be rescued. It's not a good look. It looks horrible, actually. And your physical fitness, whether we like it or not, people judge you off it. Like, if you walk in and you don't look put together, people are going to judge you. It is what it is. There's plenty of people that I know in my life that are not physically fit, that are great people and great medics, but the reality of the situation is you're going to be judged based on your physical appearance. So if you walk in and people can tell that you take care of yourself, you have pride in the way you look, people are probably going to treat you differently than if you look terrible when you walk into their house. Or so you can look at that as a medic, firefighter, cop, soldier, or you can look at that as just a regular person. When you go into a restaurant without reservations, is somebody looking at you like, oh, this guy doesn't really take care of himself, doesn't really look that great? You might get treated like that. It's one of those things. I don't know. I think it's an unrealistic assumption to be like, well, people are just going to know me for me. I'm a really good guy. I'm really competent. I love my wife. Whatever. They don't know anything about you. All they see is you. They see what you've built and presented to the world. And that's pretty serious. So getting into physical fitness, I was in the military. I'll preface this with saying I was an 11 Bravo, an infantryman in the Army National Guard, and I did nothing. I showed up, I crushed basic training, and then I did the guard thing and some active duty time with mission sets and stuff like that, like some time on active duty orders. So no, I've never deployed. I went to DC for the riots or the insurrection or whatever they wanted to call it, but I've never done anything. But I treated my time in the military like I was going to do everything the next day. I wanted to be ready at a moment's notice to be there as an asset, not a liability for the guys I worked with. And I still look at it, sorry, I'm packing a lip. I still look at it like that. So, physical fitness, can you run? Can you at least pick up your own body weight off the floor? You know, you can look at it from a million different points of view and make it you specific. So, if you're just a regular dude that works in an office, doesn't mean your physical fitness isn't important. Like, your kids might rely on you. You might have to run to go grab your kid out of the street if a car's coming. Do you have that agility, explosiveness, the ability to get there quicker when your kid runs after the ball and a car's coming? So that ties into situational awareness and your physical fitness. If you're not that guy, then maybe you should change it. You know, it's one of those things. So physical fitness, like, just go to the gym. If you can't go to the gym, go do something else. There's nothing to say that you can't get fit, like look good, feel good on the floor of your house. Do sit-ups, do leg lifts, do push-ups, do air squats. You can get a better workout doing that than going to like tool around with the personal trainer at the gym and like, you know, it's up to you. So that ties into the self-starting thing, like just do it. So like this YouTube channel, I want to do a bunch of really fun stuff with this. Like, I want to take you on camping trips, show you the modifications I do to my 2021 Toyota Tacoma, and all that fun stuff. But we can talk about serious things too, like your physical fitness. And this podcast, like, I had 2 episodes prior to this. I did them, I was excited about a YouTube channel, and I was like, why don't I just do it? Everybody talks about, I want to start a podcast. Nobody does it. You don't need all sorts of fancy recording equipment and this and that. Like, I have a $20 tripod and a Canon Mark II, or Mark 50 something. I don't even know what the camera is. It wasn't a cheap camera, but I wanted it. I invested in myself, and now I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it as much as I can. I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines down, and then just started talking. At the end of the day, pull out your phone if you want to do a YouTube channel or you want to start a podcast or whatever. Pull out your phone, press record, and talk. Like, you know, don't be afraid of how people are going to judge you. I think that's the biggest thing. People are going to talk shit and judge you based on the things that you think you want to do. And be like, oh, like, look at this guy, like, he's kind of a tool, started a YouTube channel, whatever. There's plenty of people that have super successful YouTube channels, make a living off of it. And those people that are going to talk shit and make fun of you and say whatever, let them do it, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing. I like talking to this camera. Probably like to just hear the sound of my own voice. Who knows? But just go out there and do it. We'll also do like little product reviews. So today I'll review these sunglasses and this Benchmade bug out. Just a real quick one. to throw something in the podcast that's not just me babbling on about nothing. So yeah, physical fitness. Just go out and work out. Pick like a realistic goal. 2 times a week, I'm gonna do over the course of an hour 50 air squats and 50 push-ups. And if you never do anything, I guarantee you, if you do that in an hour, whether you're watching TV or cooking and you're fitting that in between, you will be smoked. And you'll start to see how important it is. So pick those little goals. Like, I'm going to do these 50 air squats and these 50 push-ups while I'm watching my favorite show. And if you can get into that habit of doing that 2 days a week, do that for a month, and then branch onto, I'm going to do 4 days a week. I'm going to run 1 mile, and then I'm going to do body weight workouts the other days. Start slow. Don't be like, well, I'm going to train for this marathon. I've never done anything. I'm fat, out of shape, and I hate to look at myself naked in the mirror. So I'm going to pick this lofty goal and start to see very little results and then just quit. You eat an elephant 1 bite at a time. So do that. Self-reliance. If you're not physically fit, you're not self-reliant. That's the bottom line. If you can't put a backpack on with some basic things that you need and get to somewhere that you're safe with your family, then you run out of gas. All these crazy things that are going on in the world. Gas prices are up. Everyone, whatever everyone's upset about at the moment, whether it's Ukraine or pulling out of Afghanistan or COVID or whatever people think the next horrible thing's going to be prepared. It's not to say it couldn't happen. Don't be fatalistic and all doomsday about it, but be prepared for somewhat likely eventualities. Like maybe the supermarkets by my house are out of food right now, and the gas stations don't have any gas. So I got to get to somewhere that does. I'm just going to throw some stuff in a backpack, and I'm going to walk a couple miles with maybe 20 pounds on my back. Those are just the things to think about. What else do we got? So, with self-reliance, some of the things that can help you become more self-reliant. Learn how to hunt, whether it's a bow or a firearm or whatever. Hunting deer, hunting turkey, small game. A lot of people go out into the woods and hunt squirrels. It's fun. You get outside. You get more physically fit, and at the same time, you're becoming more self-reliant. Figuring out how to butcher and clean these wild game animals is an adventure in itself. I'll do a whole thing on that in another podcast. Sick stuff. Fishing. Learn to fish. Go. It's the easiest thing to go buy. The same thing with the camera equipment or whatever. You don't need to go buy a $1,000 rod, a Van Stall this, the sickest thing you could find. Go get a $20 rod and reel and see if you like it. Odds are you will. And then you can YouTube everything to become better at these things and dive in. Basically find something that you're passionate about, whether it's bow hunting or gun hunting or fishing or trapping or whatever. And then learning how to cook those things. Cooking's important too. Fighting. You should never look for a fight. And I think guys talk about this whole alpha thing where you got to be the best ass kicker. If you're out looking for a fight, you're an idiot. First of all, everyone's going to sue you. So if you're the kind of guy that's going to go chest to chest and peacock at a bar for your girlfriend or whatever, that's not the move. When it comes to fighting, the first thing you should think about is avoiding that fight at all costs. So that's your first line of defense. If ties into this self-reliance thing. So if somebody bumps into you at the bar and they think you bumped into them, or a restaurant, or a food store, or whatever. Put X situation. And now this person's being aggressive with you. If you can back out and completely avoid this situation, that's what you should be doing. There's no reason you should be like fuck you and like getting into a pissing match and a dick measuring contest with somebody. It doesn't matter, because now you hit this guy, or this guy hits you, and you hit each other, and you're both getting like arrested now. It's the way the world is. So that's your first step, avoidance of the fight. If you can run away, you should. It doesn't matter if you think you're going to look like a pussy or whatever. It doesn't matter. Get out of there. What are you fighting? You're not in high school or in the schoolyard. Be an adult. Move on. And you'll look back on that one like, probably did the right thing there. Now, self-reliance and fighting are an important thing to know how to do. So if you're walking your dog or going to get like a carton of milk late at night, and you walk out and the street's dark and somebody like attacks you, there's crazy people out there. Look what happened in the New York City subway the other day. Somebody walked onto a train, smoke bombed the train, and then started shooting a Glock at people on the train. Thank God he didn't kill anybody, but these crazy things happen. So somebody could be trying to rob you, they could attack you, they can come at you with a gun or a knife or whatever. Being able to be physically fit enough to handle that situation and capable of like at least getting this person off you and away from you so that you can run away and get help or call the police or whatever, that is important. I think a lot of guys especially tend to think like, if they work out a little or whatever, maybe you're a big guy. I'm 6'1", 200 pounds. And I know that there's people out there that can kick my ass. And I've done jiu-jitsu for years, and I weight train and run every day. So without being too cocky, I'm like a formidable opponent. But like, guys think like I'm going to rise to the level of the occasion. Dead wrong. You're going to fall to the level of your training. If you're not doing jiu-jitsu or wrestling or something like that and working out so that you have the ability to maintain like those skills during the fight, then you're going to get hurt probably. Again, that's not to say that if somebody bumps into you, now you're a fit guy that knows jiu-jitsu and you should choke him out. No. Get away and be physically fit enough and capable enough with your skills to get away. I don't know. I mean, I do know. It's an ego thing. Guys think that because they're a guy that like, I'll be fine. You probably won't be fine. So train, lift, spar with people, go to your local jiu-jitsu gym, find a sparring partner, do whatever you have to do to maintain some level of like capability and physical fitness. What else we got? Other things with self-reliance is like know how to change a tire. A lot of people like don't even know how to change a tire. They'll call AAA, or like their car's overheating. They don't know like how to fix that problem, at least to get them to someone who knows what they're doing. That's just simple self-reliance. Know how to change your tire, know how to cook food for yourself, be able to do a couple push-ups, be able to run a mile, do some sprints. Like, these are just basic things. Getting back to the self-starting thing, whatever it is you want to do, go do it. You can. Guys, girls, whatever it is, you want to start a YouTube channel about makeup or a YouTube channel about fishing and you're like, oh, there's a million fishing YouTube channels. Don't do it because you want a million followers. Do it because you want to do it. And maybe you might get a million followers and be able to buy a Lamborghini or whatever. And start that YouTube channel. Start that apparel company. Whatever it is, don't let anybody tell you you can't do something because the market's saturated or a million people have done it. Like, that's just nonsense. If you're watching this, you're watching it on YouTube, and I'm sure you follow a million different things. Look at all these crazy YouTube channels. One of the ones I love is a guy named Powell, I think. Let me see, Powell, Tacoma. Oh yeah, Max Powell. So the guy was like a firefighter, did all these things, wasn't happy with what he was doing, has a YouTube channel with 143,000 subscribers and 389 videos. And he pays for things using his YouTube channel. He just started recording himself one day. And through that was able to quit his job and do whatever he wants now. Another one is Mike from Last Line of Defense. Let me see. Last Line of Defense. Yeah, so Mike from Last Line of Defense has almost 400,000 subscribers and basically just started doing gear reviews and things like that. Now the guy has like all these followers, and you see where people are at now, and you're like, oh, like I'll never get there, so what's the point of starting? Just do what you like. Build a business, build that, do this. And I think that's like sorely lacking today. And while I say all that, to tie everything back in, all these guys like work out, get up early, don't like go drinking 6 nights a week and eat crappy food, and like they're generally healthy, fit, more or less self-motivated people. And that's sick. Like, that's how you do this. There's a pattern there. Like, so I think you guys are smart enough to figure that out. Like, there's a pattern to successful people. They read books that they enjoy. If they don't like reading, they listen to them on audiobook. That's important. They're physically fit. They have a schedule, whether they're waking up at 3 or 8 a.m. Like, they have somewhat of a schedule. So, again, you guys will be able to tell from my channel, but I don't have any paid sponsors. No one's paying for any of this. These are just like guys that have inspired me. Another one is Fieldcraft Survival, a company run by a guy named Mike Glover. He's a retired Special Forces Sergeant Major, deployments, all that stuff. So go check out Max Powell on YouTube. Check out Mike from Last Line of Defense. Check out Mike Glover from Fieldcraft Survival. His other YouTube channel, I think, is Mike A. Glover or Mike Actual. Follow these guys on Instagram. Go check out the Black Rifle podcast too. All awesome stuff. Evan Hafer, JT, all these guys interview amazing, inspirational, motivating people. And that's really my goal with this channel, is just like motivate people to do things that they want to do. Don't just be that guy that like, or that girl that doesn't do what they want because they're afraid of being judged, or they're afraid of the work that'll have to go into it. Honestly, like, this isn't work. Like, I'm just sitting here having fun talking to a camera. What's another great, obviously Joe Rogan, Jack Carr, USA, he interviews great people. He's a retired Navy SEAL sniper. My other favorite, I would say it's my favorite podcast, is Cleared Hot, Andy Stump, retired Navy SEAL, but has done so many other things. Like, he didn't want to be identified as a Navy SEAL his whole life. Like, he did that. It was important. His service is important to him. He was a development group guy, did all this cool stuff, but then broke skydiving and free fall, wingsuit records. Became a pilot, worked for CrossFit, started this podcast, Cleared Hot. Andy Stumpf's on Joe Rogan's podcast, so you should check out his episodes too. What else for this episode? Just babbling. Yeah, so those are great. Mike Ritland, Sean Ryan from Vigilance Elite. So yeah, there'll be tons of stuff about my Tacoma, camping, fishing, hunting, whatever. This YouTube channel is about, like the Seinfeld episode, it's about nothing. So yeah, it'll be good. What else can we close out with? Let's do this quick gear review. This is the Benchmade Bug Out. It's a great knife. I use it for all sorts of super cool stuff, like opening Amazon packages and whatever else. I like that it has like a low profile clip. You don't need to let everyone know that you're carrying a knife. It's honestly not a weapon. I mean, I guess it could be used as one, but I'm not Jackie Chan or whatever getting into knife fights over here, so it's just a great little tool. Opens really nice. Closes really nice. I've never had it open or close on me accidentally. And then these Ray-Bans are the best. So these are just the regular Wayfarers that are polarized. And because I lose all of them, I have a Costa sunglass necklace type thing. Well, that's it. I probably droned on long enough. I'm going to do more episodes. So get out there, stay fit, do cool stuff, look good for your girlfriend, look good for your wife, look good for yourself, and reach those goals. Be self-reliant, pick up a hobby, and become competent at it. That's the gist. This is the gist of this episode. Really not editing any of this, so just gonna upload it. Hope you guys like the channel, and we'll do some real cool stuff soon. Later.